For guys that seemingly come out of nowhere, there's always an assumption being made that one day things started clicking and they instantly became successful overnight. And of course, when we look more into it, it couldn't be further from the truth. And what we end up seeing is the years upon years of hard work and dedication put into the craft. And that's what we're seeing with Omer Yurtseven, a very humble Turkish basketball player that, when asked about how he got into the sport of basketball, he'll give you a very simple and innocent answer.
When I was around 11, 12, my dad just kind of threw me in as a hobby, threw me into it. And once I picked it up around 15, fully, it was like a part of my life I couldn't let go.
And that passion for the game is partly what contributed to him being able to face all the adversity he's gone through over the years, being undrafted not just once, not just twice, but 3 times over the last 5 years. The scouting report mentioned that he had no post moves and that he was very scared of playing through contact. And when you look at these games that he's been playing for the Heat, those reports, man, they're just so far from the truth. It's just sad. Many of us started noticing his great play when he started going off in the summer league, as he was averaging 20 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 blocks a game. The Heat knew they had a hidden gem in their hands, and thus he was signed to a contract. But I'm confused as to why it took this long for him to be signed to an NBA team. And last night when he played the 76ers, Doc Rivers was also wondering the same before the game, as he said something interesting when being asked about Omer by reporter Anthony Chiang from the Miami Herald. He joked, "I don't know where they keep finding these guys. It pisses me off every time I see one." And I don't blame Doc Rivers for being this frustrated, but at the same time, the entire NBA passed on him multiple times and he's making you guys pay for it. Since Bam Adebayo got injured, he started over the last 10 games and boy, his averages have been pretty good as of late. He's been averaging 13.6 points a game, 13.9 rebounds a game, with 10 of those being defensive rebounds and almost 4 of them being offensive rebounds. It's just stellar stuff right there, shooting 54.5% from the field. He had accumulated 12 or more rebounds in 11 straight games, and he is still on a 14 game streak where he has accumulated 10 or more rebounds in a game. He's also gotten his touches on the rim, as he's had a double-double in 8 of his last 10 games. And I would just like to say to those that think, well, he's just a rebounder and there's not really much to his game yet. Look, rebounding in itself is a very tough skill to acquire. To be able to rebound this often and this consistently, you have to go through bodies after bodies, and you have to position yourself on the court very well, to where you have to have a great feel to the game when you're on the court, especially with guys like Kyle Lowry, and especially in a team like the Miami Heat that requires you to buy into their culture, a culture in which many people are not able to buy into because of how tough it is, how much discipline you have to have, and how motivated you have to be to play each game. As he was going for an offensive rebound, Looney slapped him in the face and actually cut him in the bottom of his eyebrow, and he had to get stitches for it. And Omer's response when being asked about that incident was quite telling.
Spo referred to it as war wounds, that you remember these moments now as you look back at your career 15, 20 years from now. Do you view it the same way?
Yeah, absolutely. And, I think it was Coach Pat Riley that said that, we're like gladiators. And I usually, but I really, believe in that. And that was the mentality I had. And then a possession later, I make a layup and I step on, I think it was Steph's ankle, and I roll my ankle too. And I'm like, everything is happening tonight. So I just got to keep battling. And that's what I did.
That's an amazing mindset to have, and it's exactly the mindset that's going to bring you far in this league. A lot of star players feel entitled these days to play for certain teams if they're not getting enough touches, or even if they don't get paid enough. And I'm not saying you should never fight for yourself or you should never negotiate for a better contract, but guys that play the game the right way and guys that look at the game and they don't look too much into the finer details of how much money I'm making, how many touches I get, those guys are going to go very far in this league, and they're going to find themselves in very prominent roles in these contending teams. And you don't have to go too far to find these guys, as PJ Tucker, a teammate of his, came off of a championship run in Milwaukee and now is looking to do the same in Miami. And with his recent performances, he has clearly gotten the trust of Coach Spoelstra, and the guys around him that play with him, like Jimmy Butler, they've been saying a lot of great things about him lately, and you can see this team is going to gel well together, and Omer is going to be a prominent figure in this team. But it's not just them, as you have former Heat champion Shaquille O'Neal, whilst watching the game, also giving praise to Omer.
Like Shaq is. Yeah. Shaq, let's talk some basketball, because I know you do that for a living as part of the many things you do. You come here tonight and you...
77.
Omer Yurtseven, man.
I like the kid. Plays a lot of heart. He's killing Joel Embiid right now. Never seen him before, but I like the way he plays. I like the way the Heat is playing. You know, they look pretty good.
Although they lost this game last night, Omer is winning the respect of more and more players and more figures in the NBA. And things can only go up from here as the Heat are slowly coming back into full health. He's going to be ahead of Dedmon in the rotation moving forward, and he's sure to have a blast in the playoffs.
I'm going to ask you a very simple question. I look forward to your answer. Are you having fun?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And that's like yesterday, I mean, of course, like that gladiator stuff kind of like, yeah, I mean, it definitely like geeked me out, because I love being in that mindset, because, you know, you watch the gladiator movie, but now you have an opportunity to be a modern day one. And that's what I did, and that's the mentality I came with. And after the game, I was exhausted. You know, my ankle was hurting, my head was throbbing, but you know, you've earned that pain too. So